The world moves fast, too fast, faster than your mind was ever designed to process. You wake up to a glowing screen. You scroll before you breathe. You're reacting before you're even thinking. Everywhere you turn, you're told to do more, move faster, chase harder. And if you're not moving, you're falling behind. At least, that's what they want you to believe. But what if movement isn't always growth? What if noise isn't always wisdom? What if the most powerful act is the one where you stop? What if stillness is strength? We've been sold a lie. That hustle is the same as progress. That being busy is the same as being purposeful. That faster is always better. But when your mind is always racing, you don't see clearly. You don't feel deeply. You don't live. You react. And when you're constantly reacting, you're not choosing your life. You're surviving it. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius ruled the largest empire on earth. And yet, each morning, before facing his duties, he wrote in silence. He journaled not to broadcast his greatness, but to remember his stillness. He knew the battlefield was not out there. It was inside. And that's where the real war was always won. Stillness is not the absence of action. It is the mastery of it. Stillness is what happens before the sword is drawn. It's what allows you to see the truth behind the chaos. It's not passive. It's precision. Because without stillness, your thoughts control you. Your emotions manipulate you. Your fear drives you. Stillness gives you space, and in that space, you choose. But stillness isn't easy, because in that quiet, you meet yourself, your past, your pain, your patterns. That's why people avoid silence. That's why they scroll endlessly. That's why they fill every second with noise. Because if they stopped, they'd have to listen. And most people aren't ready for what they'd hear. But the Stoic is different. They lean into that silence. They face the discomfort. They go inward, because that's where true power lives. Modern science now proves what ancient wisdom taught thousands of years ago. When you're still, your brain's default mode network quiets. That's the system responsible for overthinking, worrying, daydreaming, and self-comparison. In that silence, your nervous system regulates, your cortisol drops, your awareness rises. In short, you become more you, not the anxious, distracted version, but the calm, grounded, present one, the one who sees clearly and acts with precision. That's not weakness, that's power. Stillness isn't the absence of pressure, it's composure under pressure. It's sitting in the storm without letting it inside you. It's being surrounded by chaos and refusing to let it shape you. In a world that reacts, the one who can remain still controls the room, not because they dominate, but because they don't flinch. Think about it. The best martial artists don't flail. They wait, they breathe, they conserve every ounce of energy until the moment to strike arrives. That's what stillness looks like in motion. It's not doing nothing. It's doing only what matters. You see, most people waste their lives solving problems. They created with rushed decisions. But the Stoic learns to wait, to think, to act when it matters, and be still when it doesn't. When you're still long enough, something else happens. You stop identifying with your emotions. You stop saying, "I am anxious," and start saying, "I'm experiencing anxiety." There's a difference. You're no longer inside the storm. You're the one watching it pass. That's awareness. That's the foundation of emotional freedom, and that freedom begins with stillness. So how do you practice this? You don't need to disappear into the mountains. You don't need to meditate for hours a day. You just need to create space, 5 minutes, Every morning. No phone, no music. Just you, your breath, and your thoughts. Let them come. Let them go. Observe. Breathe. That's it. That's the work. The more you do it, the quieter the noise becomes. And eventually, you don't just find peace, you become it. Here's the paradox. Stillness feels unproductive until you realize it's the most productive thing you can do. Because when your mind is still, your decisions are clear, your words are measured, your presence is felt. And when you show up like that, you don't have to chase opportunity. It moves toward you. Not because you're louder, but because you're aligned. Stillness is not an escape. It's a return to your core, your clarity, your strength. In a world designed to distract you, stillness is rebellion. It is resistance. It is resilience. Because when you master stillness, you stop being controlled by life and start shaping it. So be still, not out of fear, but out of power. Be still, not because there's nothing to do, but because you know exactly when to move.